And we're live. Hey everybody, it's Peter. Day 6 of SSSVEDA vlog every day in April for Amy Landino. I'm so used to saying Schmidtauer. For the old SSSVEDA. Used to be Savvy Sexy Social, now she's strictly Amy TV. I was going to do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. review, but I'm going to film it later. And I will post it tomorrow, so it gives everybody a chance to watch it. And then I will do a semi-spoilery, like I always do, review of the show. That was a good episode. But I figured by the time I actually want to do, because when I do TV reviews or movie reviews, I like putting in imagery, that kind of thing, to illustrate what I'm talking about. I just don't want to do a live stream like now. I'm using the Go Live feature in YouTube. I don't want to be doing that and then get it out, and it's going to be midnight, and I kind of like to get it before midnight now, and so I can get some decent views. It's like 10 after EST, Daylight Savings Time. So today's question was, how do you use your talents, or how do you use your talents every day, kind of thing, which I grabbed from Amy's calendar on her website for SSSVEDA. I have all sorts of talents. I've noticed what I've been doing with posting. I have it on my Twitter account. When I created a LinkedIn account the other day, I found out about that. Actually, somebody said they use it for posting, but actually LinkedIn is more for like job. Somebody said it's kind of like it's more like a job fair with a Facebook kind of feel to it. And I'm starting to use another feature called Indeed, because I may or may not need to be job hunting, but I set up an account there, and same thing to it. Say, give your account a headline. Excuse me. And I like using the phrase jack of all, master of none, because I have a lot of skills. So to say, like, what talent do I use? I have multiple talents. I was thinking about this just before I went live. I've got everything from as if you've seen me before, watch me, or if you're checking out my channel. Also, don't forget, if you are new here, hit subscribe, hit notifications. I do post on a weekly basis normally. Right now we're doing every day in the month. Yeah, so I've got like a crap load of talents. Ex-military for 7 years, so learned how to drive a tank, variety of vehicles, how to maintain vehicles. Since I've been 10 years old, I can cook. I sort of taught myself in the beginning it was very bad, rubbery eggs and really bad hot dogs, but used to cook off the back deck on the Coleman stove. Like my last position in the military was the loader. You have to cook in the field. I know when the guys are in the sandbox, when they were abroad, you didn't have the luxury of cooking off a Coleman stove. It's basically they had these special meal packs that actually, so you can't always set up a fire because then you're a target. So they actually had these sort of heat packs that you could put in, mix in with boiling water, and that would heat up your food that way. So everything is all self-contained. Excuse me. But when I was during the Cold War, 83 to 90. Coleman stove, we got fresh eggs in the morning, but we were having other packs with them. What we used to do is get together and buy actually canned groceries. We split the costs and go from there, which was pretty cool. So yeah, I'm a cook. I do that. I know a few mechanical things. Actually, one of my older cars too. I think I had an old Volkswagen Fox. I could do minor things. I remember I had to fix a gasket. The newer cars, maybe with training, I could do a newer car and do maintenance. But I got a Toyota. Works pretty good. We got a good dealership here. Actually, next week I'm gonna take it in for again maintenance. So there you go. But I mean. What other skills do I have? I'm artistic. I'm creative. I'm creating here using YouTube. But if you see in the back too, all this stuff back here that you see, this is all me just laying stuff out. I mean, I could have just thrown it any which way or whatever. Excuse me. But I'm quasi not bad at drawing. I actually wanted to do when I had my summer job when I went to college, Seneca represent. That's a college in Toronto. This is from the newer campus they have near the York University in the West End. But I had a co-op job when I worked for Department of National Defense. They had a graphics department up in Ottawa. I went there for a summer job, part of the co-op program with school, and learned how to do. Somebody said it's AutoCAD, but it's not. It was called EMS, and I think the company's still around, but it's basically doing isometric drawings using, and this was like a 10-year-old CAD system. I was shown how to do that. They showed me how to do technical illustrations using pen and ink. I mean, now everybody's totally digital with digitizers and or mouse, or using, Wacom tablets or styluses and that kind of thing. So I learned that back in the 90s. So there's more stuff to my skills. I built my own computer. I learned that back in school. I think my first 2 computers I bought were actually done by a company. And then after that, my third computer going forward, and I also have one for a family member. Usually what I do is when I upgrade, I just hand me down the old computer to my mother. So she has something little to fiddle. Like she can play like solitaire and what's another one? Oh, Pandora's Box. She likes playing Mahjong games, that kind of thing. And also she can do her scanning and create her own artwork because she was actually a graphic artist and typesetter, I think. And my dad was a car upholsterer trained by Mercedes. So I've got the artistic gene. So there's another talent I have, creating things artistically, either, like I was saying, learning how to do isometric, CAD type imagery. I still got my work from back then. I should actually scan those and post them one day. So I've done a variety of things. I'm a handyman. I'm a borderline handyman. If you go to my Facebook page, I still have some pictures. I think I posted some pictures of the basement we fixed up. My mother and I, we went one time to a home show, and it was like, how much is it going to cost for you guys to fix up the basement? Oh, it'll cost you like tens of thousands of dollars. But you'll get it done in X amount of time. We actually spent less on materials. Of course, there's labor, and I was working more regularly then, so we could only do it like Saturday. So basically, and I'm a late sleeper, so I would get up at noon, eat. We'd work till about midnight, so like 12 hours every Saturday, maybe an occasional holiday if I wasn't doing anything. We would do that. So we actually should do a video. Actually, can't post it here because you can't do. Oh no, I can do cards later on, right? It takes. Just by the way, if you're doing Go Live, I did mention another one. You need about at least 45 minutes or so for the video to settle in before you can put in end cards and info cards or the end screens. So it takes me a while, but if I will put a what do you call it? I did a tour of my basement the other day, and one of the other shots from last SSSVEDA too. The camera work was kind of shoddy, but you get to see the pool room. But all the walls and paneling and all the stuff you see up there, there's even a painting on the one back wall of some Japanese artwork. I actually painted, what do you call it? It's like the old black ink scrolls you used to see of old school Japanese back in the day of like 16. I think it was like 16th century, something like that. There was some artwork. I've actually done my own. And one's a partial. What else have I done? Model building. So again, like anything creative, that kind of thing. I mean, also I can post some other videos too. I have made my own because when I've still been home and short on cash, I made my own. I can't talk tonight. Stand for both my cell phone and my tablet. Instead of spending $20 or whatever, like I said, like, you know what, I got some scrap wood and I got some parts I can just, nut and bolt together and make myself a little stand. And I still have the stand. I think I've modified the stand since then because now I have a separate place to put my cell phone. Actually, I use my cell phone to double up as a clock. So the phone sits here at the bottom, and I'm actually using, just as a mod, that's actually a business card holder, and I just put the phone in there. Here you go. I'm also great at modding stuff. Like I'll take a bunch of things. Even one of the things we got in the basement, it was actually an old school TV stand when TVs were like huge, and we turned it actually into it's actually basically it was the display stand here's for the TV with a roof part, and then you got two glass door cabinets on either side with a drawer underneath and a cabinet on top. And it was supposed to be for actually no, it wasn't. what we did was the bottom part for the TV actually took that totally out, put the two cabinets so they touch, because the screws that bolt the whole thing together actually match this way, and I just screwed it together so the cabinets can't fall apart, and took the bottom unit, stuck it on top, so it looks like an actual display cabinet with storage on top instead of on the bottom. But if you were to look at it, you wouldn't think like, oh, was that a TV stand at one time? Because the thing was modular, right? So like I said, took out the middle, pushed it together, put the thing on the bottom piece on the top, and hey, we got a place to put glasses and old bottles of wine and stuff to put on display, and all these different glasswares we had. That was kind of neat. Excuse me. When we did do the basement too, did pocket doors. Never did pocket doors in my life, and actually the instructions were even wrong. And we figured that out, like what's called a header. I thought it was weird that it was supposed to be the rail that you stick on, basically these sort of tricycle wheels on the top of the doors, so the doors slide back and forth. But the doors hang off of this railing system. So you basically hook it in, and the doors are on like this wheel system, and they just hang from that. But there was a problem in the instructions where it said, oh, the header that goes down to create the opening of the doorway should be a certain distance. Well, the distance was off, or not. I think it was like step 3 was missing. And it was sort of like, and I thought, oh, the rail gets attached, but the rail doesn't. The rail basically hooks on either end, and then there's a bolt that comes down in the middle, and it just hangs from that bolt. So you've got the support from the sides, but it's like a floating rail. So the bolt that comes down from the actual header comes straight down, hooks into that part of the rail, and then the rail comes out. So the door sort of can fluctuate a bit. And never did that before. We figured buy the kit, and my mother was giving me a hand because this is like for her basement. And she didn't say until the day we finished it, I didn't think it was going to work. I didn't think it was going to work, but she didn't tell me that. And then the day we finished it and closed the doors and put it all together, it's like, oh, it did work. Go figure. And also other things too, when we were building the walls and the partitions, and basically making little rooms in the basement too. Again, I should do another. I did a tour before, but I didn't have enough memory on my camera that time. Now, eventually, I did buy a SD card or a micro SD card for inside the phone. I still have an old Samsung S4 where you can add more memory. And I should do another tour again of the whole thing just to show you guys. I do have footage from before too, but all of that we did ourselves. So there you go. Another talent. So like I said, talent's coming out of my butthole. And I use them in different ways. Like today again too, I was sitting down of the desk I'm sitting in front of. I want to sort of, if I had the money, I'd throw this old desk out and go buy a bunch of IKEA furniture because I want to redo, because it's been like, I forget how many years I've had this set up, and I get sort of, every so often I like to make changes, move stuff around, move the furniture around, that kind of thing. So yeah, I have, like I said, all sorts of talents, and my talents I use every day. Like, how am I going to do this? How do I do that? How do I figure this out? So I don't have a specific talent. I have multiple talents. That's why I always joke, like I said, jack of all, master of none. I wish I did have certain specific skills, like when I watch people like Adam Savage from the Mythbusters, and he's got this massive workshop that he has. And it's like, oh, gee, I wish I had a bandsaw and a drill and all these other things. Where when you see guys who have these carpentry YouTube shows, oh, we're going to show you today how to build cabinets and all this stuff. So, like, I can do sort of above average job, but some of these guys I wish had, with some of the stuff I can do, I wish I had that little bit of expertise, like more than I do know, like building a computer. I know how to work it to a point, but sometimes too, some troubleshooting skills I still get stuck on. It's like most of the things I do, I know that much, but I wish I knew like that much more, because it'd be really, really cool if I did. But yeah, that's me in a very huge nutshell. Talents like crazy. Like I said, I will post some of my work that I've done. I'll post the link to the Veda video I did of the basement and parts of the basement. I've done a couple of shots of that and go from there. So again, put it out to you. what kind of skills or talents do you have? Like, what do you use every day that you've learned or been taught that, you know, helps you get through the day? Or, oh, I have this amazing skill. Like, there's another person I follow too, Gladianne. Her website is Heart Like a Wheel. I will put the link down below. She's a photographer out in Utah, runs her own little business. And that too, like, what's her skill? Photography. She takes amazing photography. She actually has a website you can go to. You can get stock footage from her. She also does jobs for other people who do need, you know, photography work, or, you know, maybe product shots, that kind of thing for their businesses. So I'll list that. So yeah, everybody has all sorts of, and one of the guys I follow too, Alan Spicer, he has all sorts of talents. He's actually a web designer, works out of his house, but he's actually been starting up his second channel. His first channel is Mr. Harry Britt, which is basically a not safe for work comedy sort of thing. But he actually got started doing earlier this year, which was kind of neat, is a YouTube tips and tricks channel to help out people, because he wants to, you know, it's nice to give back. It's like, hey, this is how I got my Mr. Harry Britt. He's got, you know, I forget what his how many subs he has, but like, that's a ton. But then he said, you know what? This is where I started from here, and that's I got from here. So he wants to give back and tell people, okay, here's how to get a YouTube channel. Here's some tricks you can do. Don't forget, use all the features, and he does all the time. So I will list that as well to help out people that are trying to vlog and start up a YouTube channel. And follow him too, because he's got some interesting tips as well. So yeah, like I said, I got a whole bunch of skills, and what kind of skills you do, don't forget, comment down below. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit like, dislike if you didn't like this, hit notifications. Like I said, I post on a weekly basis, even though I'm not doing, when I'm not doing beta, I'm doing my reviews. I'm also doing a throwback Thursday or throwback Tuesday, whichever day it falls on. I want to go through some of my collection of classical movies. I have all sorts of movies going all the way back from Casablanca to The Thin Man, Lawrence of Arabia. Then I also have things like Fanboys and Free Enterprise and Baby Driver, and, like, you know, so I've got just like I'm eclectic,